you begin to go back to the beginning. I think that was the first thing I had was I went back to day one. I went back to May 31st, 2005 at 4 a.m. I was face to face with my daughter's killer that night at the Holiday Inn, but I didn't know it.
In May 2005, the azure waters and white sandy beaches of Aruba beckoned to thousands of graduating high school seniors. Among them was Natalee Holloway, an 18-year-old honor student from Mountain Brook, Alabama. What should have been a celebration of achievement would become the beginning of one of the most perplexing missing persons cases in recent history. Natalee was the epitome of the all-American teenager. Popular, intelligent, and with a bright future ahead of her at the University of Alabama. But on May 30th, 2005, she would vanish without a trace, leaving behind a trail of questions that would haunt investigators for years to come. The night of May 29th started like any other on the graduation trip. Natalee and her friends headed to Carlos and Charlie's, a popular night spot in Orangesta. It was there that she encountered 17-year-old Joran van der Sloot, a Dutch national living in Aruba. What happened in the following hours would become the subject of intense speculation, international media coverage, and multiple criminal investigations spanning 3 continents. When Natalee failed to appear for her return flight on May 30th, her friends raised the alarm. Her passport and packed suitcase remained untouched in her hotel room. The only things missing were the clothes she had worn the night before. The investigation quickly focused on 3 individuals: Joran van der Sloot and brothers Deepak and Satish Kalpol. They were the last people seen with Natalee, leaving Carlos and Charlie's in the early hours of May 30th. But their stories would change multiple times over the coming months, creating a web of contradictions that would both frustrate and fascinate investigators. Within hours of learning about her daughter's disappearance, Beth Holloway arrived in Aruba. What followed was an extraordinary display of a mother's determination to find answers. The first 48 hours of any missing persons case are crucial. But in Aruba, those hours slipped away amid jurisdictional confusion and what some would later call investigative missteps. News crews descended on the tiny island, and Natalee's face appeared on television screens across the world. But with each passing day, the mystery only deepened. First, they claimed they dropped Natalee at her hotel. Then, they said they'd left her at the beach. Each new version raised more questions than answers. On June 9th, Aruban authorities made their first arrests. Joran van der Sloot and the Kalpol brothers were taken into custody, but without a body or clear evidence of a crime. Prosecutors faced an uphill battle. As weeks turned into months, tensions mounted. Beth Holloway's persistent presence on the island and growing media attention put pressure on local authorities. The case was becoming an international incident. The involvement of Joran's father, Paul van der Sloot, a legal training official in Aruba, added another layer of complexity to the case. Some questioned whether his position influenced the investigation. On September 3rd, 2005, all 3 suspects were released due to insufficient evidence. The decision sparked outrage and left Natalee's family devastated. Over the next several years, numerous searches would be conducted across Aruba. Each new lead brought hope, only to end in disappointment. The island's landfills, underwater areas, and remote locations were all meticulously examined. In the years that followed, Joran van der Sloot's behavior would raise even more questions. His appearances on television shows, changing stories, and eventual involvement in another serious crime would keep him in the spotlight. 21-year-old Stephanie Flores, a college student and daughter of a prominent Peruvian businessman, met Van der Sloot at a casino in Lima, Peru, where he was participating in a poker tournament. The two were seen entering his hotel room around 5 a.m. 4 hours later, surveillance cameras captured Van der Sloot leaving alone with his bag. On June 2nd, Flores was found dead in a hotel room, beaten with a broken neck. Her money and credit cards were missing. The parallels to the Holloway case were impossible to ignore. After fleeing to Chile, Van der Sloot was arrested on June 3rd and quickly deported back to Peru. In a stunning development, he confessed to killing Flores during an argument after she used his computer without permission, allegedly discovering his connection to the Holloway case. On the very same day as his arrest in Chile, U.S. authorities issued a warrant for Van der Sloot on separate charges, attempting to extort $250,000 from the Holloway family in exchange for revealing the location of Natalee's remains. On January 11, 2012, Joran van der Sloot pleaded guilty to the murder of Stephanie Flores. He was sentenced to 28 years in prison and ordered to pay $75,000 to Flores' family. In a somber coincidence, just one day before Van der Sloot's sentencing, a judge in Birmingham, Alabama, signed an order declaring Natalee Holloway legally dead at the request of her father, so he could settle her estate. In recent development that would finally bring closure to Natalee's family, in 2023, Joran van der Sloot confessed to what happened on that fateful night in 2005. According to van der Sloot's confession, he and Natalee were on the beach when he attempted to kiss her.
Plus, she asked to go back to her hotel, but I was just trying to get dropped off a little bit further away from her hotel, so we could walk back to her hotel, and I might still get a chance to be with her. Yeah, Deepak drops me off at a place a little right of the Marriott hotel known as the Fisherman's Huts. This place is not so far from, the next hotel is the Marriott, and the next hotel after that is another Marriott, which is a timeshare, and then it's the Holiday Inn. I'm actually with Natalee walking along the beach. I find a space before we get to the Marriott hotel, where I lay her down. We lay down together in the sand, and we start kissing each other. I get her to kiss me again. We start kissing each other, and I start feeling her up again, and she tells me no.
When she pushed him away, he persisted.
She tells me she doesn't want me to feel her up. I insist. I keep feeling her up either way.
Natalee, defending herself, kneed him in the crotch.
And she knees me. She ends up kneeing me in the crotch.
In a rage, van der Sloot retaliated with shocking violence.
When she knees me in the crotch, I get up on the beach and I kick her extremely hard in the face.
He kicked Natalee in the face with force.
Yeah, she's laying down unconscious, possibly even dead, but definitely unconscious. And I see right next to her there's a huge cinder block laying on the beach. A huge cinder block laying on the beach. I take this and I smash her head in with it completely. Her face basically, collapses in. Even though it's dark, I can see her face is collapsed in. Afterwards, I don't exactly know what. I'm scared. I don't know what to do, and I decide to take her and to put her into the ocean. So I grab her and I half pull and half walk with her into the ocean. I push her off. I walk up to about my knees into the ocean, and I push her off into the sea. After that I get out. I walk home.
After years of searching, of false leads and heartbreak, the Holloway family finally had answer. While nothing could bring Natalee back, knowing the truth of what happened that night brought a measure of peace to those who had never stopped looking for her.